New World Patch 1.8.4 is here and it's got some good fixes and it marks the end of the Legacy of Crassus event. Let's check out the patch notes and see what we've got. So as stated, it's patch 1.8.4 and basically the downtime is going to be tonight if you're American like West Coast, tomorrow morning if you're EU. And it marks the end of the Legacy of Crassus event. And the important change is the fact that it includes the fixes to the locked items. Man, that has been a pain in the backside. Let's go through every note though. For faction missions, they have fixed an issue that allowed players to bypass the PvP faction mission requirement and complete patrol territory quests. I don't know enough about that, but that sounds like a mild exploit that obviously they've fixed. Talking about potential exploits, fixed an issue that allowed abilities to be used multiple times without cooldowns. I can confirm that that never happened to me, didn't know it was happening, but they fixed it. And again, fixed an issue that allowed players to dodge more times than intended without consuming stamina. The good thing about these fixes is that because I didn't really know about them, I can't imagine them being very prevalent, so they weren't really being fully exploited. Now you guys in Wars, maybe they were, but this one just looks like it's an issue rather than an exploitable issue, if that makes sense. But they fixed them both. This next one could be very big depending on what it actually is. So they fixed an issue that caused crafting to fail and deliver the message crafting attempt failed. That's a classic, right? I'm guessing there's probably several reasons why that happens, but if they fully eliminated it, that would be amazing, right? Obviously, I don't know if it is going to fully eliminate it or what have you, but that used to happen to me quite a bit. I think it probably has slowed down in recent times, but if they fully eliminated it, perfect, beautiful. They have fixed an issue that caused the Leave Company pop-up to occur every time a player spoke to their faction representative. I don't think that was happening to me, because I never saw it and I had been speaking to my faction representative occasionally, but that sounds really annoying, so good fix. And then here we get to the good things, right? With locked items, they made some changes to make it so that you can't really ever get rid of them by mistake, like you couldn't drop them on the ground basically, but it also meant that you couldn't very easily get them from your inventory to your storage, or maybe even vice versa as well. The best way I found was to just sort of shift click the item and it would go in, but you couldn't even drag it in, at least I personally couldn't drag my items in that were locked. And oh my god, I was getting very frustrated with it because I was trying to prepare for the next patch, get all my ducks in a row as you would say, and actually be ready. And I was getting very salty about it. So let's have a look at what they've actually fixed in this patch. They have fixed an issue that caused locked items to display as bound to a player. Sometimes I would lock an item, mainly even though it's like bind on equip, just so I didn't get rid of it by mistake. So that's a good change. Obviously, it should never be like that. They fixed an issue that allowed locked items to be transferred to a bag on the ground if they were equipped. So the interesting thing about that one though is that's the very thing they were trying to eliminate, right? And obviously they didn't do a full enough job. They fixed an issue that prevented locked items from being deposited to storage. Locked items will still not transfer using the transfer all button. Now this is a little bit annoying. I would prefer that if they were locked and it was going from your inventory to your storage, that transfer all would still work with the locked items. Not quite sure why they would restrict it. You could deposit, as I said, with the shift click, but you couldn't like drag your locked item across. Hopefully now it means that you can drag it across. However, I would like transfer all to work even if the items are locked. As long as it's going to my storage and not the floor, like that would just make sense. Why they can't do that, I mean, I have absolutely no idea what's going on here. They have fixed an issue that caused players to receive the wrong message, cannot drop mission items when attempting to discard locked items from their inventory. The correct message, cannot drop locked items, will now appear. Okay, I actually didn't know too much about that one. Not really too flustered. It's this one here that is a good fix, but it doesn't quite go far enough, right? Like, I think you should be able to transfer all, even if it's like locked, as long as it's from your inventory to your storage or vice versa. Obviously, you shouldn't be able to do that to just the ground if you've locked it, obviously, because you're trying to say I don't want to get rid of this one. Now maybe they could add a secondary locking system where you like stay in inventory, and in which case you would click that. But locked, for me, I'm doing it so I don't salvage it, not so I don't move it. So I personally would like transfer all still to work when it's my inventory to my inventory. I'm not losing it in that context, right? But either way, they need to just work on this. It was like a good idea, but the actual outcome of it was a little bit frustrating, and I don't think what they wanted to achieve. So it's not a massive patch, right? But basically it does end the Legacy of Crassus. So if you've not got all of your craft mods and you've not got all of the items, which if I'm honest, I don't think I have, because sometimes it's very hard to find a group, because if it's late at night or whatever, everybody's already done it. So there's some good advantages to the way that they did the Legacy of Crassus thing, but also some bad depending on when you play. Very late at night, for example, there's not that many groups. Anyway, it ends tomorrow, get your stuff. Well, it actually ends today if you're American, so get your stuff no matter what. Today is the last day. And the locked items, yeah, I just wish they would take it a little bit step further and make it perfect rather than frustrating. But maybe you all disagree with me. Maybe transfer all shouldn't work with locked items. But however, if you want to support me and help me grow the channel, becoming a YouTube member or Patreon is truly the best way. Or you can come and follow me over on Twitch. I've been streaming a lot. I'm having a great time. It's a little bit weird because my personality, I think, really shows live. Whereas on videos, I feel maybe a little bit stale. But that's just because I want to get the news to you rather than waste your time. However, if you want your time wasted, then Twitch is truly the best place to be. And my stream, not that amazing. But you should come along anyway. It'll be fun. What you should definitely do, though, is have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.